And this happens with young quarterbacks, and it also happens with veterans when things aren't going great, that you're so in need of completions that your anticipation move kind of goes to the back seat, and you want to see it open before you throw it.
Let's get down and dirty. What is so after watching this team, aside from leaving the quarterback in way too late in this game, Charles, what did you think of this Bears effort, especially coming off of how they lost the game to the Commanders the week before?
I went into the game with the whole idea that they needed, look, I'm not going to play John Nash and tell you this is an original thought, because it's not. I think without even talking with you guys prior, I'm pretty sure you went into last week saying, listen, a fast start is a really good idea for this team, because you want to try and get what happened last week flushed as fast as possible. But I think we also knew, and you tell me if I'm wrong, please, because I don't want to put words in your mouths, that the only outcome that worked was them winning that game.
Right.
Okay, so you can do all the things you want. You can talk about what we did. We met it head on with the captains, and we did this and we did that, and we're not going to tell you what the punishment is, which I don't disagree with. Like this whole, Matt Eberflus owes us a pound of flesh, and tell us what you're doing with Tyreek Stevenson. No, he doesn't have to tell us that. It's his ball club, and they need to keep it, and they want to keep it internal. That's up to them. It would reveal to us on Sunday anyway, okay? And you have to do it based off of whatever you do. But everyone was demanding answers. Everybody's demanding accountability, and understandably so. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I've been around ball for a long time. Tom, you've been around, Sylvia, you've been around it. I don't know I've seen that before. Tyreek Stevenson with the crowd, and then all of a sudden, oh, shoot, it was like a bad skit on the old variety shows when I was a kid. And you can't do it now, but it was a trope, meaning that all the variety shows did the same skit. And at some point during the season, each variety show would have people at the airport, and you could hear the airport announcements in the back, and then you'd hear Captain Napier, your flight's about to leave, and he's sitting at the bar. And he'd go, oh, shoot, he'd throw down his drink and race off, and everyone would laugh, right? Now, obviously, we can't do that anymore.
Right.
Drunk flying isn't any better than drunk driving, right? But it was my point being, all this that we're going into, right? This kid is doing all this stuff, and it's like, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to be playing ball.
Yeah.
And he ran over, and everyone keeps – I get this question 1,000 times, guys. Well, if his responsibility was to be in the back with that guy, why did he run and tip the ball? He had plenty of time. And I said, okay. He was messing with the crowd, folks, meaning his mind wasn't where it was supposed to be anyway. Mm-hmm. And then when you panic, it's not like your assignments flood into your brain. You're devoid at that point. And so he went, of course, and made a bad situation worse because, of course, he tipped the ball. And then it went to the guy, and off you go. I'm going to end it here. That whole situation and setup, we can say all the right things, do all the right things, listen to the right things, and understand the right things. Unless they won the game, it's still going to bubble up. And I thought a fast start was huge for them. Get off to a good start, go start playing, and you feel better about yourself. You're not tight about things. And by the way, your quarterback really needed it. We said that in the open. That was one thing I had to hit, and I actually talked to some Chicago people ahead of time, just saying, hey, I'm just going to let you know. I'm putting it on your rookie quarterback. You're 9 games in or whatever it is. He has to play well from the beginning. Get some completions. Get things going, the whole deal. And I thought he kind of started pretty well, but it didn't pay off in points. And then as time went on, you guys saw the rest of the game, the whole deal. It all developed wrong. I said what I said at the end of the game. I stand by it, and I don't and I hope I did it in a respectful manner. I wasn't trying to hammer anyone. I just disagreed with because I just didn't see there was any lessons there. Right. Just like what are you going to gain now?
Agreed.
Okay, you want a 2-minute drill, Tom? You put an extra 2-minute in next week.
Right. Yes.
And then when he went down, my heart went in my mouth. I went, oh no.
Yeah, we agreed totally.
No.
Charles,
that's all I'm saying.
Charles, I think it's a simple. You make decisions based on risk versus reward in that situation, and I think it's as simple as just saying, "What's the risk?" And it was everything. What was the reward? And it was very small, if not nothing. So, in my book, the decision should have been a simple one.
It feels like it. Look, I want to cut some grace to these guys because here's the other thing. Tom, please jump in on this one. Have you ever been on a team where the quarterback was a respected member of the team that ever wanted to come out of a game?
I played with Jim Harbaugh. Jim wanted to play in the fifth quarter, which didn't exist.
So. Yeah, and that's my point. Yeah. Before, Big Mouth Davis has all the answers, I also understand it's hard to get those guys off the field. Yeah. All right? The best quarterbacks will fight you. Caleb Williams is a rookie quarterback who wants to keep proving to his team he's worthy of leading them. So you think he's going to go over and say, yo, you really think it's a good idea I go back out there? No. The adults had to take charge on that one. Yes. Okay, they had to tell him you can't go. That was my whole thing on the deal. It wasn't Caleb. Caleb would never come off the field voluntarily. Okay, I like this young man. I just want to see his career go in the right trajectory. I just thought that wasn't the right time for him to be out there, and that was simply that. Yeah. But the rest of it, they didn't get done what they needed to get done, and so everything still lingers from the week before, and now you have new questions to answer. And that's the problem with what goes on now.
And, Charles, that's why I said from the very beginning that this loss and how they lost hurt me more than the Commanders' loss.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get that bad taste out of your mouth. Now it is lingering. And I think they find themselves in a very precarious situation. They're fortunate they're playing a lesser team in the Pats this week. But I think this is one of those inflection points in a season. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And here's the worst part. They're playing a team that really has nothing to lose. All they're trying to do is play well enough to either be brought back next year or someone else pick them up and get experience for their rookie quarterback, Drake May, as many good snaps as possible because they're not playing for anything. And here's the other part, too. They're running into where their own media is jumping all over them about coaching decisions. I mean, I pick up the thing, and poor Gerard Mayo, took the wrong end of the field for overtime, and Drake May was like, "Yeah, I was throwing into the wind," and they're like, "What? You had the option of picking which end of the field, And so now Gerard Mayo's under fire for that now, and so they have enough stuff coming at them that they'd like to get that off of their back, and we've seen them upset some. Look, we had them opening day in Cincinnati. Did you ever think in any way possible they'd go to Cincinnati and win on opening day?
No.
And they did. And I forgot who they upset a few weeks ago. It's still an NFL team. I know that sounds trite, but when you're struggling yourself, that's the worst team you're going to play.
Yeah, they beat the Jets recently, too.
Yeah, see, because they have nothing to lose. Yeah. They're just out there playing, and they're playing for things that might not be championships, but those guys like to stay in the league a little bit longer.
Charles Davis joining us. It's Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000. So Caleb, getting to Caleb.
Yeah.
Are you still as bullish as you were on him today as you were but leading into the draft?
I am. I absolutely am. Got a chance to sit with him for the first time for what we would call an extended period of time. It's a production meeting. Okay. So an extended period of time there is you're trying to get 10 to 15 minutes. Right, and if you get 10 to 15, that's a good production meeting with a young man. That's the first time I sat in his presence. I've seen the press conferences, I've seen him at the mic, I've seen him all that. But it's the first time to get around him and get a sense of him. And I really like this young man. I like where he came from. Very thoughtful answers he gave us when we had the conversations with him. I thought they came out and looked the part on Sunday. But when it doesn't pay off with putting points on the board, now it becomes a slog. And Arizona got bolder and bolder and bolder. As the game went on, and it was working for them, and that became tougher and tougher and tougher. One of the other things I said early, and, here I am going, I said, look, our team gets together, and we talk about what we're going to do in a ball game. So they weren't surprised we went there. I just took our team there, okay? So I'm an only child, but I do have my limits. Early on was, okay, here's the deal. You've got the rookie receiver in Odunze. I'm trying to get it right because he wants the O more emphasized, we were told. But you got the veterans, Moore and Allen. I know Keenan's missed some time. They have not really been unlocked the way you would expect them to. Like when he came in this situation, guys, was it not universal? Oh, my God, look what he walked into with receivers.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, guess what? That's not working. It's not working because you're not getting them consistently getting things done week in and week out. One may pop up. This is the other three are not. One may pop. Cole Kmet. Almost nothing on Sunday. How you not? You see where I'm going? They haven't figured out a way that they can all be integrated. And I haven't talked to DJ Moore. All I know is I totally missed on the scramble that he walked off the field and went and sat on the bench while the play was going on.
Yeah.
I totally missed it. And I'm mad at myself because I hurt my crew. The dummy here didn't pick it up. But Caleb actually, when he made the scramble, DJ went to the Bears bench, of course, and then Caleb scrambled the other direction and took our focus all the way back across field in the incomplete pass to Keenan Allen. I'm still mad that I missed that in the moment. It came out the next day. I don't know what you guys are getting on it. I don't know what has been said other than I think I saw Coach Eberflus talk about, he's out of the play. And Tom, when you're out of the play, out of bounds, you can reestablish.
Yes.
Correct? You just can't be first to touch.
Right. And
so you
also
you can reestablish and you can block. You
right.
can reestablish and
Yep.
you can recover a fumble. You can reestablish and the play's not over. You're back in the play. Correct?
Yes. It was a bad look for DJ. And
I don't know. So I don't know what the explanation.
Yeah, and we're hoping to hear him, reference it tomorrow. Charles, I would say, my biggest concern with this team right now, I don't believe they're a Super Bowl contending team. I didn't when the season started. I thought that maybe they would look a little bit different than they have through this stage. My biggest concern has been developing this young quarterback and giving him the resources and the infrastructure to be the best that he can be early on, because nurturing these guys and growing these young quarterbacks is very, very important. A lot of the stuff you're talking about can reflect back to the coaching staff. Is it fair to say that these are all valid questions? Is he being given the infrastructure? Is he being coached correctly? Is he being given the best opportunity to grow as a rookie quarterback in this situation?
Tom, they're all valid questions. I tend to lean on this because I'm not there day in and day out, and I respect every one of these people who are working in the NFL because they're giving their heart and soul to the whole thing. I think that they are going about it the best way they know how at the moment that we're in. That's the best way I can put it.
Right.
If I were to ask Shane Waldron, I'm not an inner circle guy, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to tell me everything that's going on, and nor should he. But how do you integrate all these people into it? How do you unlock these guys so that everyone's getting a taste of this thing? This is one of those deals where you got a lot of people who can make great plays for you, but they have to be involved. They have to touch it. They have to get a feel early in the game, so on and so forth. There's one drop Keenan Allen had that I kind of attributed to he hadn't touched the ball in about 2.5 quarters. You know what I mean? Now I'm getting and he doesn't drop many, right? I thought DeAndre Swift played so hard in this game. I thought he'd be a clip and save on a teaching tool of this is how hard you play the game of NFL football. That's what I thought. But getting the ball to everyone, how you're doing it, that is one of those, you think it's a happy problem. Yeah, it's a happy problem when you're winning. It's a horrendous problem when you're not winning because all these guys believe they can make plays. And by the way, their track record suggests that they can, but there's only one rock to go around. How does everyone get involved? And that's what Shane Waldron and his staff are working on. So I give all these guys respect, Tom. I'm not about to come out and go, well, this is what they should be doing.
Right.
I'm not there day in and day out. I can only go off of what I saw on Sunday. What I saw on Sunday is a team that's struggling to get everyone involved.
And building on that, Charles, we're talking to Charles Davis, Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000. What do you see from Shane Waldron's offense? Do you see someone who is off of the tree of a McVay? Do you see someone who's doing something different than what Shanahan or McVay do? What is he doing as far as his offensive concepts?
Well, you definitely see the tree because look at how they're built. It's a lot of 3 wides on the field, right? Remember, McVay just kind of lived in that, right? I mean, just lives in 11. So You see a lot of those things. You see where you're trying your best to get these people incorporated, but you can't always do so. I see a team that when they run the football, the wide receivers are part of it. I'm seeing them come inside. Heck, I saw Keenan Allen. He goes to that tight wing, and he's leading on runs to the perimeter. So I see all the elements that you see with it, but a lot of this stuff has to come along with timing, with other things. Like Caleb, I thought he was a count late a lot early in the game. And this happens with young quarterbacks, and it also happens with veterans when things aren't going great, that you're so in need of completions that your anticipation move kind of goes to the back seat, and you want to see it open before you throw it. And now the defensive back gets involved. Remember that one down the middle early, down the seam?
Yep. Got tipped away at the end.
Yep. He had it, and it was a great play at the end by Garrett Williams. But I think if he throws it when he is totally confident, Garrett Williams doesn't get there. That ball gets there before Garrett Williams because he hit it on the anticipation. And I thought there were 3, 4, 5 throws in the first half. That one that Keenan Allen caught on the sideline that would have been a first down, but he ran out of sideline. You know, remember that one? First half?
Yep.
Another one that if it's thrown a count earlier, it's a first down. Instead, Keenan had no place to come down. Those are the things that you see when there's a little bit of struggle going on, because you really need these plays to happen. And I think that's where they are right now. They need something that unlocks them and relaxes them and gets back to what we saw in London, to cite an example. Was that not fun to watch? Oh. I watched it sitting in my hotel room going, whoa.
Yes.
That's Charles. That is what I said to these guys. I watched that film 2 days later, and I said, and I'm not one for hyperbole, that's the best, cleanest game. And again, the interception was a bad throw. It was one play. Yeah. It is in the negative column. That's the cleanest, best, most accurate, in-command performance I've seen a Bears quarterback play in years. And that's why I know it's an uneven ride for a rookie quarterback, but to watch him play how he played against the Cardinals is just frustrating.
Yeah, I would agree, but because we've seen it, we know it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
And both of you tell me again if I'm off track. That game in London, didn't everyone get a taste that day?
Oh, yeah.
DeAndre ran it. Keenan Allen scored 2 touchdowns. Kmet had 2 touchdowns. You see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Now everyone's kind of involved in going. You want to take it and bottle it. And I know Shane Waldron, if he were crazy enough to be listening to us, right, he'd be like, yeah, you guys think that's easy? No, Shane, we know it's not easy. But that's what you have to get to when you have that much talent on that side of the ball, because if you don't, you're going to have bigger problems later.
Charles, before we let you go, back to the DJ Moore situation, and you brought up early in our conversation about Tyreek Stevenson. I think with the Stevenson situation, because he's so young in his second year, it's easier when you have a young player and you have the veterans talk to him. Here you have one of your highest paid players doing that, and you still want to hear what he has to say. But he's one of your best players. So if you're a veteran inside that locker room and you're on the Bears, what do you say to DJ Moore?
I think number one, we have to hear what he's going to say. But I don't want to get too far out there, because sometimes the craziest situation you go, right? I'm not sure there's one there for this one. It's going to be tough for me to get there, but I always try and keep myself in reserve.
Yeah.
But this is where the veteran guys that he would hang with, that's when they play to tell the truth. Yeah. They do. And DJ Moore is enough of a veteran and a fine player that I think from the right person, he receives it. Now, Roma Dunza, you can't task him with going in and having a talk with DJ Moore. Wrong time frame in his career, wrong age, wrong everything. But Keenan Allen and him chopping it up over dinner, and if Keenan says something like, hey, man, what are we doing here? I think that message is received quite well, because it's peer-to-peer, understandable where they are in their lives, their careers, et cetera. You know, Kevin Byard pulls up a chair. Hey, man, anything you need to talk about? Those are the people that you would need, because the ones that love you the most are willing to tell you those things because they're going to always love you, you know? And they're going to be there when you get upset with them for telling them that, but they're also going to be there when you come back around and go, yeah, I was upset, but what you said was right. Let's go from there. It becomes family for you. And I'm very eager to hear what he has to say because I've not seen that either.
Yeah.
Like, I've not seen that where you go into – that felt like a bad movie. I'm going to go to the bench, sit down. What? That one threw me.
Too many of these weird things are happening with our favorite football team here in Chicago. That's
like
just what I'd say.
I'm going to leave you guys with this, though, because I know you need to kick me off of here. The infrastructure's there, though. Like, 2 weeks ago, this was a 4-2 team, and the arrow's pointing straight up. I don't want to see 2 weeks of tough play. All of a sudden, everything just goes right out the window because I just don't think that's true. There's a lot of talent there. There are a lot of really good people who can lead. They have a lot of good elements there. They're just in a bad, what my dad just called bad jag right now, right? And they've got to find their way out of it and figure out how to unlock all this stuff. And if they do, we're right back to talking about the potential that's there. Like someone asked me today, well, you've seen Caleb up close. You've seen Jaden Daniels up close. Jaden looks like a franchise guy. I don't know about Caleb. I said, what do you mean? It's way too early to be getting into all that.
Yeah.
And by the way, he can be a franchise quarterback. So I saw nothing that changed my mind on it. He just has to continue to play. And people develop in different ways, different times, different things. And Jaden Daniels' legs have helped him develop as well.
It's great stuff. Charles, it was great to meet you again, and thanks for taking all this time for us. We appreciate you.
Charles.
Thank you. I hope we're talking again down the road. We'd sure love to see the Bears again. It would be fun.
Amen.
That would be great.
Thanks,
Charles
Charles
Davis. He's so good at what he does and one of the classiest guys around.